dangerous and a danger
And
zone.
yeah, it's dangerous too. Although now, if you touch a transit worker, that's a felony with 7 years in prison.
They have to catch me first.
Yeah,
Number one, and then the, number
but
one, and then the other thing is about the bus driver is that they got that line, and I've been told this a couple of times. I've been embarrassed by it because it was a crowded bus.
right.
There's a line that you can't cross. Like, please step behind the line.
Yeah, yeah, which is understandable because certain buses, certain drivers, certain streets, if you're not standing behind that line, the way, especially the way some bus drivers operate the bus, you could be catapulted through the front
That's true
windshield, you know. So
because
yeah,
there's nothing to hold on. I mean, everything that's to hold on is behind the bus driver.
yeah, and now see the way the buses are now in New York, the bus drivers basically encased in plastic.
Hmm.
Oh,
Okay,
really?
yeah, there's
Like a bubble or something.
like a just it's just a plastic uh shield, and this came about a lot, during COVID.
Oh, I understand. Yeah.
Okay, and then with COVID, they pushed that white line that you were talking about.
Yeah.
They pushed it back even further.
Oh, really? How
Yeah,
far can they push it back? I mean, they can't push it back further than the seats.
yeah. Well, it no, it's back near the seats. Also, with some buses, there were buses where you could there was the little what I call co-pilot seat that you could sit behind
Right.
the bus driver. Yes, some buses they've gotten rid of it. Okay,
Oh,
because of COVID. Some buses still have it.
right.
Um, Also you have what you call the select buses. Okay, the select buses are these long what they call like I guess accordion buses. They're
Yeah.
you know
They're like two buses in
right,
one.
right. And they basically the select buses they skip stops. You don't pay when you get on unless you have a Omni card, but you don't pay when you get on. There's actually machines at the bus stop where you use your Metro card and you get a receipt.
Hmm.
Okay, you can either get in the front or in the back.
Oh,
Now
that's
the
good.
only
Hmm.
yeah, but the only problem is if you try to be slick on certain routes and not get a receipt, when you get off, they have what they call Eagle teams.
What's that?
And Eagle teams are basically either ex police officers, ex law enforcement that they do security at the bus stops. And when you get off, you got to produce that receipt.
Mm.
Hey.
You know what I
Okay.
say to that? You know what I say to that? Don't you have anything better to do?
And you know what?
Like stop real crime. Are you really
Right.
checking to see whether I paid my fare?
And you know what they're going to do with you? They're going to ask you for your ID. They're going to give you a ticket. And if you don't give your ID, they're probably going to hold you for the police.
You know what though?
Okay.
Back in the day,
Uh huh.
you could jump a turnstile.
Right.
I'm not saying this right or wrong. I'm just saying the art of jumping a turnstile. People may have heard this around the country,
Mm-hmm.
but the art of jumping a turnstile. You may know of this, Mr. James, as you may have done it. I'm not saying that you've done it. I'm just saying that some people have done it. Okay, and so what the people would do is they would hear the train coming down the track. Okay, they would stand in the stairwell. They'll listen for the train.
Mm-hmm.
The train would hit the station. The train would stop. The doors are open. Then, but before the door closed, you're Jesse Owens.
Mhm.
So you're running and you're jumping over the turnstile. You run directly
Mm-hmm.
into you run into the door, and the cop who was sitting there with his legs up, reading the Daily News, has no chance to get you at all.
Okay. Now, obviously, you haven't been to New York in a while.
I
Okay.
have, but I have not because of my change in life circumstances. I have not had to take the subway or jump the turnstile.
That's true.
Okay.
There you go.
Now, here's the thing. Again, I say, obviously, you haven't been to New York in a while because Now they have, and don't get me wrong, you still have people that evade fare. Okay, but it's just that all that half the time, all that jumping over the turnstile stuff, people don't even hardly do that anymore. You just wait until somebody's coming out through the gate, the authorized exit door, and you just go right through. Okay, because
That's easier.
that's easier. I've seen all cornucopia, diverse group of people going through the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, from from young bloods to little blue-haired old ladies.
Hmm.
Okay. Now the only problem with that though is that certain gates they have security. Okay. In fact, MTA has hired the company that I used to work for to do security at these gates. Okay. And what they do is they put enough security people at the gates and they tell them, listen, if somebody goes over a turnstile, don't bother. But when you see that massive security at the gates, 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna
You're not gonna do it
right.
because
And see
I
the thing.
remember
Hmm.
as you mentioned the people in the booth that used to sell you tokens, right?
Hmm.
We used to jump over the turnstiles. Me and certain people that I was associated with.
My associates.
Yeah, my
Me and
associates.
my
They jumped in,
associates.
and so the only thing the only resistance they put up with, which was very lackluster, I must say, well, they would say something like "pay your fare,
Well,
pay
some,
your fare."
yeah,
That was
yeah.
it.
Back, well,
That's how they
see,
did their job.
right, and see, things have changed with that. But no, I understand that because, and some used to take it seriously because there was when I used to go to drum and bugle corps practice on Zariga Avenue. You go to the turnstile, there was a gentleman in Tokaboo. He got there and pay your fare.
No,
Come
no,
back
no.
here. Come back
I'm
here.
not
Hold
taking
on,
money.
please.
Listen, I'm not taking money out. Listen, I'm not taking money out your pocket. All right, just stay in that glass booth. You bring your ass out of there. Anything can happen.
But see,
Hmm.
see, here's the thing. Half the time, the majority of the time, the they're not even called token clerks or anything. They're called station agents now.
Oh, forgive me.
And yeah, and
Well, la ti
La
da.
ti da.
the majority of the time, they're not even in the token booth anymore.
Really had.
They're actually outside interacting with people.
Hmm.
They're giving directions. They're helping people go to the Metro card machine, or and especially Omni, because come December 31st, Omni is going to completely take over. Okay. Yeah, they basically stay outside the booth. So these days, and I'm quite sure you dealt with a really nasty token booth clerk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because there was one I remember down on Fulton Street, Lower Manhattan. She was from the Caribbean, and she had a mouth on her, and people used to actually try and wait until she leave that booth
Damn.
because she had no filter on her mouth. My goodness. So yeah,
Is
now
it bad?
the
I mean, I remember going up to a token booth, clerk, and the thing is that people for the most part
hmm
who are employed by the MTA are very knowledgeable about the train and bus system, right? So I asked this lady, how do I get to let's say Herkimer, my favorite
Yeah.
street? How do I get to Herkimer Street from Coney Island? How do I get? Know what she did?
mm.
Well,
Give me a map.
No,
okay.
yeah,
That's
because
basically it. Find it
yeah,
out your find it out your goddamn self.
and some of them, some station agents, she was probably just there for the day because I have seen station agents be asked questions and they're like, I don't know. I don't know. You gotta look at the map. You want a map?
Map.
You want a map? I don't know what
which is
you.
which is vastly different than how it used to be. Because
Mm-hmm.
if I'm on a bus and I ask the bus driver, how do I get to Third Avenue and or Kings County Hospital or some
Hmm.
other place like that, they knew exactly where it was,
Mm-hmm.
and they knew exactly where it was. And let me say this: although there may be changes coming to the mass transit system in New York City, based on my experience being born and raised in New York City and taking the train and buses numerous times, paying, not paying, riding on the outside of them, riding in between them, I could say that the improvements, God bless them, God bless y'all. I do not have a lot of faith that these so-called improvements are going to improve anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me.
Right, right.
I mean, you may have a different outlook on this,
No, well,
but
my take on it is this: with the Metropolitan Transit Association, it's it's an entity that is hard for them to control. Okay, and I'm talking even back when you had actual locomotives running on tracks above people back in the 18 whatever. Okay, so it's always been an entity that is hard for them to control. If you walk into any station, okay, it's almost like an archaeological um find because
mm-hmm.
you find layer after layer
Mm-hmm.
of stuff, things that have been added to that station before.
Yeah,
Okay. Just like I found out recently, when you take either the C or the A train, right? I found out that, and this shows you how way back things go. I found out that people could tell when they were on a either express or local stop, not by asking or by the train, but by how the tile on the station looked.
Hmm.
Okay, if a tile had a certain color within, say, like it says Ralph Avenue, if that tile has a certain color to it, that means it's a local station. If that tile has, if you look at a tile from like Nostrand Avenue, it's probably they added a color to the tile on the wall, and that signifies that is an express stop.
the the
Okay.
way the way I used to tell is, of
Hmm.
course, you had the C and the A
Right.
that run on almost simultaneous tracks,
Right.
or maybe you had the A Express and the A Local also run
Yeah.
on simultaneous tracks. And
Hmm.
so if you on a certain track like an A train on a local, and you happy to, yeah, and you're in a hurry, you can't go to every goddamn stop there is between
Hmm.
Bedford Stuyvesant and Lower Manhattan.
Right.
If you're lucky, your trains will stop at the same time on the same platform, and
Right.
then the
Right.
doors are open. You race your ass across the platform and get on the express because it's on a different track, and leave that
Yeah.
slow ass local train behind
Hmm.
because
Well,
it stops every damn stop.
yeah. Well, it was much worse with some other lines. I mean, if you catch the queue, right, and you take it, and right before right before it hits right before it hits the Manhattan Bridge, if you look out the window heading towards Manhattan, if you look out the train car window, you can see the remnants of Second Marcy Avenue station.
Hmm.
Okay, in fact, now they actually have like artwork where as the train moves towards the Manhattan Bridge, the artwork in that abandoned train stations becomes animated because the train is moving.
I don't need that.
Okay.
I just need for you to get me where I need to go. One of the funny things is
Hmm.
when you're traveling on a train, subway train, and there's so
Hmm.
many different tracks. You may be side by side by another train, right?
Right.
And then either you go up or they go down. I have no idea. They go down or you go up, but you go in different ways, and one train may take the bridge, the other train may go under the river, right?
Right.
Under the river, in the tunnel, under the river, which is, if you have any history regarding that, that to me is a construction of a modern miracle. That I have a train that goes under the river to go to Lower Manhattan. That's amazing to me. I always, as a kid, I always thought that was amazing.
No, it's amazing to a lot of people. It's a modern marvel of building. Okay, because if you look at the map and just FYI, they changed the maps. The maps look more, how can I say, mechanical than natural. Okay, the subway maps before that, they showed actual the physical way the barrels look. Now it's they've kind of went back to how the maps were in the early '70s. But no, it's a marvel. It's amazing. Um, if you take like the two and the three and the five, 4 and 5, and train go to Brooklyn, and you go under into their tunnels, okay, which I think they call it actually the tunnels have names. One tunnel is called the Cranberry Street Tunnel, and the others I forget the name of it. But those trains actually take a wide turn under the East River, going heading towards New York Harbor.
And that's so fantastic to me
Yeah,
that happens. It's so fantastic.
yeah.
I just
Yeah. Meanwhile, if you take, say, the 4, the 5, or the 6 from Manhattan to the Bronx, it's just it just goes under real quick and comes up on the other side of the Bronx.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
those are fantastic trips, and
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any place like that in the country that does that.
Mm, I doubt it very much. I doubt
Yeah,
it very much.
and those tunnels are not new; they're old.
No, they're old.
They're
Okay.
they're ancient.
Actually, the what is it? It's one of the tunnels that are going into Brooklyn. They actually share it. No, I think going into Queens, they actually share it with the tunnels with the PATH trains, because see, a lot of people, a secret that a lot of people don't know is the New Jersey PATH trains, half the time they're laid up in Queens. Okay, they're laid up in Queens and whatnot, and so they use the same tunnel. I think that tunnel also Long Island Railroad too. Um,
And that's
getting
why my
back.
damn, and that's why my damn train. Numerous times my damn train that I'm on will stop, you know,
Hmm.
in the middle of a tunnel, and then the conductor will get on and say, "Sorry, folks, we're waiting for a green light to go." There are lights in the tunnel. They're red and green lights
I have a
in the tunnel.
question about
Uh-huh.
a New York subway system. Like, so first you talk about express, you talk about the locals. So are there just one type of express? Because I think about when you go onto a building that's particularly high, and it may have an elevator that goes floors, 1 to 30, and then another, set of floors that goes 31, through 40, and
Right.
another, is that the same way, or is it um, just one thing express that does, stops at one stop or two stops, or how do they do it?
No, but they okay. Case in point with like the trains that are going to, let me see, maybe okay, say like the 6 and the 4 train. The 6 is the local, the 4 is the express in Manhattan. Um the 4 train turns the express. They stop off at the what you call the hubs, and the hubs are basically parts of Manhattan that had the most foot traffic, the most business.
Hmm.
Okay. Um that would be like 86th Street. Another express stop would be like for the trains at 72nd. Then you would have 59th, then 42nd Street, uh 34th Street, Harold Square, and 14th Street. Okay, and these stops, that's where you get the most tourists, the most business, the most foot traffic. You got people coming in on the Port Authority buses.
Hmm.
You got people coming from Long Island and I guess New England. You got Metro North. So pretty much those are the main stops.
So it's just
Um,
like every day is the same stops. They don't
every day
change.
is no,
Yeah,
they don't change. The
and
only
it's express.
the only changes you might get is at night instead of MTA running the C train local, they just they just let the A train run local stops.
Yeah, which I hate. I hate getting on the C train. It's the world's slowest train. I'm sure that's the same way it is now. It's the world's slowest train. So you remember Penelope getting on the A train and going to Madame Alexander,
Yep.
and we were on the express, unfortunately,
Yep.
and should have been on the local. And so the station we needed to get off on is like jugga 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 right past.
Well, see, the C train is not that it's slow; it's just that it doesn't get any respect
It's
because
because it's slow.
no, it doesn't get any respect because right before it cross right before it crosses over into Brooklyn from Manhattan, right at Fulton Street,
Uh-huh.
the C train has to wait for like 3 and 4 A trains before it can come into Brooklyn. Everything is focused on the A train, the A train, the A train.
That's right.
Okay,
It's a
I have
bullshit train, y'all.
I
Try to
have
try to avoid the C train as much as you can.
see no the C train. Listen, that's my train because it gets me to work and whatnot. It's just that, like I said, everything is focused on the A train.
Hmm.
Okay, and you will actually get to J Street, and you actually have to stand up there and wait for like maybe 4 to 5, sometimes 4, maybe sometimes 5 A trains before a C will come.
That's right.
Okay, and
And
then
and and, and,
then
and James, that's why if you have the option to cross the platform and get your ass on an A express, that's what you
yeah,
do.
but the A train serves me no purpose because 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 if I gotta take the A train, then I gotta go all the way up to Broadway Junction.
Right.
Then and I still gotta catch a C to come to go back towards Manhattan to get off at my stop.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, and see another thing with the disrespecting of the C train is that sometimes those freaking A trains will dick around, excuse my French, they will mess around to the point when the C train finally gets into Metro Tech, all of a sudden this announcement, well, due to delays and whatnot, we have to go express too.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever been on a train that changes?
Yeah, yeah.
Now this train is a this train is one train and it's a C train. Now we're turning it to an A train.
That's what, and I hate that. I can't. damn
Now all of a
man,
sudden you're on a.
Not what
I,
you expected. But we're
yeah.
going to ask you a question about your train experiences. When I asked what your first memories were of the train, I mean, like going back when you were a little kid, you know, your first train trip, your first, um, you know,
Oh, that
what was that like?
that would be hard, but I think I could say that the first train trip that I remember was I was I was 4 years old, and we were going to the New York World's Fair,
Hmm.
1964 World's Fair, and we went out there. In fact, it was like we went out there a bunch of times because never for nothing. I think I remember the night. I believe the night the Beatles were at Shea Stadium, we were there.
Wow.
Not at the concert, but we were like on our way going home, because we had spent the day and whatnot. So yeah, and that's the reason why say that's the earliest, because I remember at the World Fair they had these special transit authority trains that were like silver and aqua. Okay, they were silver and aqua, and I was wondering why. How come our trains, the 6 train going to the Bronx, why is that train black?
Hmm.
Okay, and come to find out, the reason why this train was the cars were black is because of the soot.
Yeah, it's
It
really
was the
dirty.
soot. Yeah, actually, they were the soot was covering up the famous red, because New York had this thing where they called the trains the Redbirds.
Hmm.
Okay, but okay, why is it y'all calling these train cars Redbirds, but y'all ain't bothering or
Never
taking the
cleaned them.
time to clean them?
Never cleaned them. So in the '70s, we decided to put graffiti on them. But uh, one of my first trips was I was about the same age. I was younger than James, and my mom took me to an elevated train. And of course, being my mother, she didn't tell me anything ahead of time to prepare me for this trip. So
Hmm.
I'm walking, I'm walking up these stairs, and then I go and pay. I see her pay the token booth, and then of course, kids are free, and she tells me to duck under the turnstile, and then and then she goes through, and then we walk up, and then I look down, and I can see people underneath, and one of the most scary experience of my life. I said, "Oh my God, we are going to die. This woman's
Yeah,
trying to kill me." So
yeah, yeah.
that was the elevator train, and then the other experience was being underground, which is then going down into the ground. The train, one of these old trains. I know James, you remember these trains, but these old trains, like you said, the old red trains, but they were black with soot.
Mhm.
But the old trains that had actually cushioned seats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they had seats that were. I mean, it wasn't always what you see now in the movies and on TV. These hard seats. Actually, the New York City Transit Authority tried to give you some luxury. The seats had cushions, so when you sat down, they weren't too bad. They weren't soft, but they were like kind of wicker basket kind of
Yeah,
material or something.
yeah.
And
There you go. There,
and it,
yeah.
and it wasn't too bad. I said, man, it's not too bad. As a kid, I'm thinking, people talk about the subway like it's a dog. It's not too bad. I sit on this thing. I'm by the window. I can see
Hmm.
people. So it wasn't a bad experience. It wasn't as terrifying as being elevated.
But
Yeah.
but
But
wait, but wait a minute. You forgot one thing. What happens when you looked up?
when I looked
When
up
Yeah, when you looked up in the car.
on the elevated train,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
You don't remember those big fans that they had
Oh,
in
right,
the
right, right. There used to be
Big fans.
fans on the train. Yeah, there used to be fans, and I think those probably were dangerous. Uh, if you were over a certain height, your head probably hit those fans.
Duh.
But they were big fans. But it was so you know removing the fans, to me, that's why I'm skeptical of the improvements that they're saying. I get the removing of the fans, the removing of the wicker type, seats and all that. But our subway, just New York City subway, just lacks in comfort from other subways, and you rarely see. I mean, there's certain movies and TV shows that where you see characters go on the subway or take the subway,
Mhm.
but rarely so. And when they do, it's always a very uncomfortable experience.
Okay, so when you say that, when you think about films, TV, or whatever, what film, what television show, in your mind, most accurately describes a trip on the New York subway?
Well, I hate to say it, but I mean, it's a crime drama, but I hate this. I mean, to take him a Pelham 123.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, I mean, it looks like it's a New York City subway.
I
Back in
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it looks to me like a 1970 New York City subway. The interaction, kind of overhyped. The guy looking at the lady and licking his lips and all that. That's hyperbole. But that was when the seats were uncomfortable. Certain trains were um, it was an uncomfortable ride, but I think realistically, speaking, as far as what it looks like, I think it comes the closest to me.
Think so? How about
Well,
you, James?
okay. Well, let's be honest. The MTA's main job is, and they do it for millions of people. I think like between 1 and 2 million people every day. But their job is just to get you from point A to point B.
Hmm.
That's all they care about. They're not thinking about bringing you your slippers and cocoa and a
What? No
get a
slippers and Coco? Get out of here.
and a good book to read and whatnot. That's all they. That's all they supposed to do. Now,
You
as
sound like
far as
an apologist from the MTA. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, well, listen. After living in New York City for so many decades, yeah, I. That's all I want them to do is just get me from point A to point B. Stop with the C train pulls in, and now they're going to express stops because of delays. I just want them to get me from one place to the other.
So
In a
what
Now,
what
timely
what
fashion.
TV or movie realistic,
I was
realistically displayed the
I would say in a nutshell, probably the episode of the Odd Couple
oh, no.
where they on the train and see. In fact, this
The
is
Scatman
kind.
Brothers?
Yeah, and see, this is kind of like what was somebody debating and whatnot. Because that to me, that episode is hilarious. Okay, because even before they get on the train, what happens? Felix, I think, makes Oscar snatch his girlfriend's purse and what.
What?
Yeah, and Felix starts yelling to people in Central Park. Look, he's taking a purse. Somebody do something, and all of a sudden the crowd, people in Central Park yell out, "Why don't you do something?"
Why you do
Yeah.
something? Yeah.
You know, but getting to the second half of the episode where they're on the train, it's it's the subway system in a nutshell because you got the train is is stalled. Okay, the power is shut off. Now they got to sit in the tunnel. In this train, you're dealing with people that you don't want to be bothered with. Okay, and Felix takes it upon himself to try and entertain people in the car, you know, by
Okay.
you know, and then you got Scatman, and which is again, you got people on the subway that do scams, and
Mhm.
he's on there, he's making out like he's blind, but he's not. You know what I'm
And he
saying?
got a dog too.
Yeah, you got a dog and whatnot, and I found it hilarious because I have been in situations where I have seen people on the subway train. It was this one Latino man. He act like he's dying, he's limping and whatnot. He asks for money. Okay, people give him money. He gets off with me, the same stop, Rockaway Avenue, and all of a sudden he turns into, was it Kaiser Sose?
Yeah, he can walk and
Yeah, he can
stand up
walk.
straight and everything else.
Yeah, he straightens up and he's walking, and he walks straight to the drug dealer on Herkimer.
Okay.
You know, so yeah,
But
that
the only problem I have with that episode is that the train looks too clean.
yeah, yeah.
But that is a funny episode.
Yeah, it is a funny episode, and I gotta give them credit for practical effects. You know, where they made it seem like the train was moving.
Yeah.
You know, for that time, you know, they got away with it. So yeah, that yeah, I would say taking of the power 1, 2, 3.
What about the Warriors?
The Warriors is interesting because a lot of people don't know it, but the scenes where they're at supposedly train stations in the Bronx are actually train stations in Brooklyn.
Hmm.
Okay,
But is it realistic? Does it look? I mean, other than you knowing the stations, to the normal everyday John Q public, does it look realistic?
I would say the scene where they're down on what is it, 72nd Street, I believe, and one of the members gets pushed onto the track and gets run over by a train.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, I would say that was realistic because it was like late at night, you know, and not that many people were on the you know, not too many people on the train at that hour, you know, overnight. So that was kind of realistic to me. If you put aside that the gangs and the Warriors are gangs that would fit in the 1950s and not
Yeah.
the 1970s. But yeah, I would say for that part they got it right. And actually I would say you've seen American Gangster.
Yeah.
Okay, even though I get a feeling that they might have filmed the elevated train scenes, for some reason I think they might have filmed it in Philadelphia or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way the streets look in American Gangster, I would give them credit for that. But definitely at the top of the list would be Taking of the Power 1, 2, 3.
Okay,
No,
now
the old one, not the new one.
okay.
No, not the new one. Yeah, what'd you say, Cranston?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about was it the remake or the original? Okay.
Oh.
But as another question, okay, so has anybody commented on how this thing about if they made all the public transport in New York free, is that going to be sustainable, or is that going to be one of those things they hope nobody will remember after they get elected, or what?
That's a good question because I personally think that MTA is swimming against the tide when it comes to buses, and that they should just make the buses free. Now, mind you, last year they did a pilot project, okay, where if you got on the M60 bus, no, I'm sorry, not the M60, the B60 bus in Brooklyn, it was free for half of a year.
Hmm.
Okay, and there was other bus routes in the city that they did the experiment, you know, to see what would happen. And I think the idea was good because the routes that they picked were like long bus routes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I think that that's what they should think about. Now, is this sustainable? I don't know, because for some freaking reason, MTA is always they're always working in a deficit half the time.
That's what they say. I don't believe them.
Well, I don't know, because I think part of I think part of it is waste.
I think a lot of it is waste, and a lot of it is just made up stuff. And I think a lot of their, especially the administrative staff, get paid
Right.
a lot of money.
Well, what definitely the problem is that they were trying to curtail is that, okay, people got to understand, Metro North that services Westchester County and parts of New Jersey and going further up into New York State, and Long Island Railroad, which operates Long Island. You have a lot of people that work within those two entities that collect a hell of a lot of overtime.
Yeah,
Okay, and some of them are getting paid overtime for really not doing anything.
a lot of
Okay,
money. But
and
I think what they should do. I think it is sustainable, and I think because you have the LIRR and other trains that use access to the city,
right,
but people don't actually live in the city,
right.
they should add a small tax to those people and make the subways and buses free.
Okay, the only problem with that is, what are you going to do with the people that have stopped using their cars to come into the city because of the the tax that they put in for entering Manhattan under 60th Street?
Well, you can keep that. I don't think you should do away with that. You keep that, and you have the people who ride in from Connecticut and from Long Island
Right.
play it. It shouldn't be much. It could be something as little as 10 or 15 cents, and
Well,
I
you
think
know
it could be
what?
enough to subsidize the MTA.
Well, what I think is don't excuse me for saying this. What I think is a better idea is if you put a corporate tax on corporations, and also finally you put a tax on billionaires in this city, because billionaires and millionaires and corporations have been getting away with murder in this city for the longest.
Yeah, and let
Okay,
me
they
say that. I mean, when you say that,
hmm
the thing about the so-called improvements on the subway system, if you you know y- add a small surcharge tax to those people and those corporations, and we're not talking about a whole lot of money. We're not talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars from people. We're talking about a few cents from people, right? If you add a few
right.
cents, you could take it back to those wicker seats, those fans that won't cut people's heads off if they're over a certain height. You could make a subway system look like Japan's subway system, where if you get to look over the edge to see whether your train is coming, somebody won't push you in the middle of your back and have a train run over you. It doesn't necessarily have to be quote unquote luxurious,
Well,
but it could be 1,000% better than what it is now.
well, well, number one, with getting to the wicker seats, I
I love those
think,
wicker seats, by the way. I
yeah,
love
but
those.
I think you seem to have forgotten that those same wicker seats used to tear
Yeah, they
and
did.
and whatnot. So, in fact, I think the wicker seats were one of the many reasons why they got rid of the Third Avenue L in the Bronx, because the Third Avenue L in the Bronx, which in its last couple of years they called it was the 8 train. It was a adventure riding that thing, because number one, the station the platform was wood planks.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, and them shits used to get like they used to splinter up
Yeah.
and put that in warp and all that. And like I said, with the wicker seats, yeah, they were cool, but they also it put it this way. That whole fan wicker seat
Yeah.
wood planks, that was that was from another era. That was from
Well, you know what?
actually
Let me say this. You could
right,
forget the wooden plank. That scared the shit out of me anyway. So let's skip
right,
that.
right.
But the seats, you have to sit down, and your ass wouldn't be sitting on. I I I felt like when they changed
Hmm.
to these seats that they have now, I think
Right.
that they're like it's almost like a punitive thing on subway riders. Like you MFers can't take a wicker seat. We're gonna give you concrete seat, the hardest
Yeah.
seats that we
Yeah.
could think of. It's like
But again, that whole thing with the fan and the wicker seats and all that, that was from another time and place.
yeah, I know, but you know what? You ignore the glory of New York City. I mean, those things old, but was old as new again, and I think that I think you can do it without Of course, you're gonna get your homeless population, other people laying down, doing all and pissing and defecating and all that. That happens,
Right,
okay.
right, right,
But
right.
there's a way that you can make these things so that we could be proud of our city. That because there are people who are listening to us, there are people who are listening to us right now who
Mm.
never knew that those wicker seats and fans ever existed.
Okay, so let's go all the way. Let's go all the way. Since you want to bring
Oh,
back
see,
all of
you
that,
gotta now you gotta say something crazy now. Now you getting ready to say something crazy.
let's bring back the old locomotive engine
See,
Okay.
like
that
All
that
right.
that ran on the L.
let's bring
That
back the
when you
monthly.
wait a minute, the old locomotive engineers that ran on the L tracks that used to spew hot ash
Oh god damn.
on people
Okay.
down on the ground,
Well,
Okay.
ladies,
All
you know
right.
what? Let's go back to
ladies
this.
walking with
Let's let's
ladies.
let's let's put you on a catapult that has an A thing on it, and then put you in it, and then catapult your ass over from where you live
Hmm.
across the East River over to Brooklyn to where you work.
Okay,
That
so
and all you pay is a dime. All you pay is a dime.
and and since we're doing that,
Oh God.
let's
Okay.
let's just give let's give you a nice Brooklyn
Come on,
horse
Okay.
horse drawn trolley,
come on.
okay, to take you wherever you want
Where's
to
your?
go,
I'm
while
sorry.
the horse is spewing horse duty.
Where's your New
Okay.
York? Listen, where's your New York pride?
My listen, I have
You
New
want to
York.
like everything public, everything that public has access to. You're saying that the New York City subway system has 2 million riders a day. 2 million people is moving every day. Every
Right,
day, two
right,
million
yeah,
people. People, rich people, poor people, everything
right,
in
right,
between.
right, right.
Why
Hmm.
shouldn't people have an experience? I know you're trying to get one place to another. I get it, and when I rode those trains and those buses, that's what I was interested in. Doing that. But why not give people an experience? Why not? Why just be? Why does public mean drab? Why does public mean hard? Why does
Well,
public mean
see,
that?
if you knew what was going on now, you have a program that's been going on for the last 20 years where you have people that actually go into certain subway stations and play music.
That's nice.
Okay,
That's good.
okay. I had to listen. That's part of my collection these days. Is I actually buy CDs from people who perform in the subways. You have some people that perform comedy, some people do jazz. I remember this one brother. I had to come all the way from the other side of the 14th Street station to give him money because he sounded so much like Jimi Hendrix that it was amazing. So you have music programs in the subway. You also have art installations in the subway. I love to before before they had finished with the track work. I used to have to get off at 34th Street to switch over to the queue. I love doing it because they had this art installation where it you can tell when the train was coming because you hear these like kind of xylophone type tonal things being played from this machine overhead. Okay, so you have the listen. One artist I used to represent, he was trying to get her work into the Parkchester train station overhead because they have this program where they put stained glass artwork. You know, if you're an artist, they put your work in stained glass. So you know all this stuff is down there.
Oh,
Plus,
that's fine. I mean, I'm saying that's a good start. But
right,
if I'm riding, like say when I used to ride from Coney Island to Lower Manhattan, that was
right,
like
right.
an hour ride for me, like an hour, maybe less, depending on whatever going on. Why not make my experience, a good experience? You know what I mean? I mean,
Well, you want the wicker seats.
I want to.
Okay, I tell you what I do. Let me know when you'll come to New York, right?
Okay.
I'm gonna build you a giant wicker man.
No,
Okay.
that's
Now
okay.
look, I thought he was
That's,
going to say something nice, like I'll
yeah,
come
I don't know.
show
No,
you
no,
where
no.
all the nice stuff is.
No, I'm gonna
Instead,
build,
No,
you're
it's
I'm
going
gonna
to
take
build
me
giant
back.
you.
I thought you
wicker
were
I'm,
gonna say
I'm
man.
gonna
go to
build
the
you a
Okay.
nice.
the
I'm gonna build
All
you a
right.
transit,
nice big
the
wicker
transit. I thought you
man.
were gonna say go to the transit museum, and we're gonna see the old
Yeah, I
time,
thought
No,
he
I'm
was
gonna
going
put.
to say something
the
nice.
old time
I'll
cars.
put a little choo choo train inside the wicker man. You could go
That's
climb
okay,
up in
man.
there.
Man,
Just
you are the worst.
disregard the people standing around with torches. Okay.
Okay.
the,
All
the the
right.
the other thing I remember before I forget, we talk about how the things being the fares being free and everything.
Mhm.
I don't know if James you remember this, but there were certain stations where there was it was like a turnstile that was like an Iron Maiden. Okay, so
Mhm.
it's like if you went to that turnstile, you could not get out. There was no reverse.
God.
I don't know if
Yeah.
you remember those. And so it's like, I don't know how, twice in my life, fucking around.
Wow.
I was in that, I'm messing around and got stuck in that thing,
Wow.
and then had to have my friends basically say, okay, we're all going to get stuck with you. So we're going to all get stuck in this stupid ass station that you were fucking around in.
So how did that help anything?
Well, because we all in it together, one for all, all for
But how did
one
that
for
help
all.
anything?
But I'm gonna get on the train, this fucking crazy RR, some other bullshit train. I don't even know where it's going. It's going to some place
Mm-mm.
I don't know where the hell it's going.
Okay.
So I'm
Now,
on the train because there was these stations where there was no turnstile at all. It's just like
yeah.
yeah, you just turn around. It's like a torture device, man. It's like
Yeah.
Okay.
there's no toll booth. There's zero people. I don't know what they did with
Wow.
those. I don't know what they did with those stations. I don't know what they did with those stops. But those places were, ripe for all kind of stuff going on, including my ass getting stuck in them.
Well, not for that. I remember those Iron Maiden turnstiles, and that's why I never fuck with them.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
Cause
So
you
this,
look,
it's
you look
one of
like
those terms they should put a sign saying, "Fuck around and find out."
yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. There you go.
And see, that's another thing. You will find some stations that have stair stairways that are actually gated off. Okay, that lead up that used to lead up upstairs to the station itself or wherever that they've just blocked off. You have some entrances like what is it, Rockaway Avenue. There you come upstairs, and before you get to the turnstiles, you can see a entrance that they blocked off. And this is you'll find a lot of mysteries.
Mysteries of
Yeah, in
life.
the subway system. Listen, I can remember when I first moved into Brooklyn. I took a walk and I saw a subway entrance, but the shit was like covered over. And I'm like, well, where does this lead to? You know what I'm saying? You find a lot of
Yeah,
stuff like that.
I'm not going by myself.
Nah,
Let me ask you this, James. Have
mhm.
you ever utilized a subway bathroom?
What?
uh, the last time I used the subway bathroom is maybe the one down on, I guess, 42nd Street, Grand Central Station. There was a time when a lot of there was a time when bathrooms in the subway system was shut down completely.
Yeah, because I
Nope.
Okay.
remember I've never used a subway bathroom, and as a kid or as an adult, and as an adult, my presumption was the subway bathroom were basically places for gay sex.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. That used to happen a lot. That's why they shut them down. Now you have it in like the major terminals. They'll open it up and keep it open for a couple of hours, but after a couple of hours, they'll lock it up.
Well, what was your experience in the 42nd Street restaurant? I'm just interested because I never utilized a restroom, a subway restroom ever.
Well, sub, with subway restrooms, the main thing is not to touch anything in there.
Okay.
Not don't touch. Don't even wash your hands. Go get some hand sanitizer. Just just go in there. In fact, only go in there if you got to do number one.
Wow. Yeah, I guess so.
Now
Uh,
now did
uh,
it now did you is it old looking or is it up to date? Do
no,
they have separate
they
faucets? Separate, you know how in New York they have separate. A lot of places have separate faucets for cold and hot water. Was it what did it look like?
no no they have the restrooms in the subway have been updated. They actually will have a person from MTA that's a attendant that will go in there and straighten shit up. The faucets you don't even have to touch. You could just wave your hand. They deal by what's it? Motion.
Motion activated.
Yeah, you could do that. But I still would advise you not to touch anything.
How do you dry your hands off if you motion activated wash? Just rinse your hands off. How would you?
Well,
How
they
would you?
they have the machines where you could do it, and you could just do like an elbow thing, turn the machine on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or then they have uh, machines for paper towels that are motion activated, where you just wave past it and
Okay.
you
Yeah.
get the tissue like that. But yeah, I wouldn't. I
You
don't.
wouldn't
I
touch
don't
any.
care. Yeah, I don't care how clean a bathroom in MTA looks. I wouldn't touch anything.
Now, now, one time,
Okay.
one time I was tempted to go into a New York City bathroom, New York City public subway bathroom because I really had to go and it was dark. And I said to my, I turned myself around and said, I'll hold it till I get home
Yeah.
because it's like I could take my life in my hands to go there.
Well, if it's dark, that's definitely a fucking no no.
You know, I ain't nowhere
Excuse
in the
my
world,
friend.
and am I taking my junk out in the dark? Anything could happen. I'm
But tell
asking
me,
for trouble.
Are they do they have schedules for the trains, or is it like every 15 minutes they come by, or something like that? Or
Yeah, if you go, okay, if you go, say like Rockaway Avenue, right? You go down the steps, you walk past the station agent, and right on the other side of the turnstile, you'll see a sign. Well, not as a sign; it's like a electronic, um, electron.
marquee?
Yeah, and it show you the C is like 5 minutes away. The A is like 10 minutes away, and then if you go on the platform, they have the same thing.
Well, no,
Okay.
I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Cranston, but I think he's thinking like, I have to catch the A train at 8:15, and A train should be here at 8:15. Is that what you mean by scheduling?
Well, yeah, something like that. It's like in New Orleans, they don't have any bus schedules because they say that whatever stop you're at, that a new one will be by in every 15 minutes. So
Oh
you just
well.
watch.
I mean, if you're gonna do that, you could go to the MTA site. Okay, and if it's a bus, they'll show you what time the bus will stop at your stop. Okay. Also, if you go to a bus stop, they have the sign that shows you what whether it's the B15 or B16. There's there's numbers on that sign besides showing you the route where you text that number. Okay, you text that number, and on your phone it'll show you how far away the bus is. Okay. Um, with the trains, like I said, they have it on the platform. You look up, you see when the next train is arriving. Also, you could go to M. I feel like I work for MTA. Also, you could go to mta.info. Go their site. They'll show you what trains have track work, what buses are having issues, and also you can plan your trip.
No. The thing is though, whenever I caught the train, I think Penelope, also
Mm-hmm.
when she traveled with me, I don't think we ever planned a trip.
Mm-hmm.
We just basically we just like got on the train. We just like there's a train there. There's always a train there. I mean, especially if you're
Yeah.
coming from Coney Island, there's always a train there. So the
You just
question,
wait for it.
yeah. So the question is, when is this train gonna, because it's the last stop. The last stop is Coney Island, Surf Avenue. So we get on the train. It's like
Right.
when is this damn train gonna stop moving?
Oh, well,
You know,
again, that marquee sign. They'll show you when the train is getting ready to leave. It's best just make a note that it's best that if you say if you get on a platform and you see that the train is gonna leave in like 3 minutes, you better get on the train right then and there. Okay, because when it gets to 3 minutes, sometimes the conductor engineer they don't wait. They just get
So
on the PA system, tell you where it's going, close the door, and if you're not on the train, then you just have to wait for the next one.
just wait for the next one, and they come pretty frequently. Let me ask you this, James: has a bus ever has a bus driver ever slowed down or waited for you when he saw you running or trying to make your way to a bus?
Yeah, yeah,
So
because because that bus driver knows me. Okay, there was when I'm going home at night. There was one time when it was an issue with the bus or whatever. I was late getting to my bus stop, and I saw him coming down Eastern Parkway, and he was getting ready to turn, but then he made eye contact with me, and he just opened the door, and I got on. But that's because he knows me.
Now, what if he didn't
Oh,
know you?
well, if he didn't know me, I'd be shit out of luck.
Shit out of-
Wow.
Okay. In fact,
I don't want that to happen to me.
let me go a little further. Sometimes with bus drivers, they do what they call illegal routes. Okay. When they wanna cut time or mess around, Herkimer around, okay, they will do an illegal route. It's just that heaven help them if they get caught. And
Mhm.
that's happened to me because I'm on Rockaway Avenue waiting for the B12 to come down Rockaway Avenue and stop. And I guess I don't know who this bus driver was. His ass came down East New York Avenue,
Yeah.
and I'm
You know why they can do that?
Why?
what?
The reason why they can do that because they know where they're going, which is different from a lot of cities and buses that I've been on in other cities. They
Oh
know where
well,
they're going.
yeah. Well,
They know where to go.
Well, I mean,
they
the thing is, I guess it's different though because of the train. You just get on it. Just get on a bus. They have to know, but on a train, right? They don't have to know anything, and they go rah, 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 like that. Nobody knows what they're saying anyway.
yeah they with the illegal routes is basically they have that problem is serious on the overnight because some bus drivers feel, oh well, there ain't that many people gonna catch the bus at 2 o'clock in the morning, so I can mess around and whatnot. But like I said, heaven help them if they get caught, because if they get
Right.
caught, they get taken off of the route, and then they gotta sit home because they got suspended.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So and plus they have to be careful because of GPS, because now there's a little screen over the bus driver that keeps track of what they're doing. And trust me, if they mess around, then you hear the phone ring, and it's the phone near their seat, and that's their dispatcher.
So what can they do? Just tell them, hey, what you doing? What's going on? Or
No, they get fired or
oh,
suspended.
okay.
Yeah,
But
they'll make it up, and sometimes the dispatcher doesn't want to go through the hassle, especially it's if it's a bus driver that doesn't do it on a regular. But then you have some bus drivers that do crap on the regular, and they're like, "No, we got to take you off this route because you're not doing what you're supposed to do." You know what
no,
I'm saying?
now I've been able to stop a train. Now, and the way I've stopped the train is like if I
Hmm.
have my backpack or something that said watch the closing doors, I would put my backpack in between the closing doors so the doors couldn't close.
Uh-huh.
Is it
Now we know your
possible?
tricks.
Is it possible to do that now?
It's possible to do it, especially if it's like rush hour. You know what I'm saying? People stick their backpack. People stick their foot. I
Yeah.
would I wouldn't advise it because the way these trains are now, some of these some of these conductors, they'll just keep going.
I can't go with the door not closed.
No, they will try. They will try. People have been dragged now.
I'm gonna let
What?
the backpack. I'm gonna
You're
let the
kidding.
backpack go.
Oh well, if you're gonna let it go, then by all means. But no, no. In fact, that was a problem. Besides the subway surfing, and especially with these new jacks in Brooklyn with the backpack, and sometimes they don't even know that they're holding shit up because they got the backpack on their back,
And they
and
don't
it's
know it's their backpack.
right,
Well,
and
whenever I did it, It's like the conductor would stick his head out the window and look at me, and be irritated as hell, and have to open the door up, and then I get in. He wouldn't like it, but he wouldn't drive off with me, like, with the door open.
Right. No, it depends on the conductor. You have conductors that get irritated and they will wait until the train, they'll open up the doors, let the person on. Then when the train starts off, they'll get on the PA system and they'll be like, oh, that's it. Those of you with backpacks on, you have to take them off. You know what I'm saying? Don't let don't let it be some young girl from the hood that's a conductor.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh no.
Cause yeah. Cause one time it happened, then it happened the second time, and she got on the PA and said, "Listen, I told y'all,
Yeah.
take your backpacks."
Yeah. Especially
Mhm.
during school hours.
Yeah. Yeah. So it depends on the conductor. Bus the bus they don't really have that problem because people just walk on. But it's funny because Friday, the my regular bus driver, I got on and he told me, he said, "Man, you missed it." I said, "What happened?" He said, "I had to get in between a man and a woman on the bus because they was getting ready to throw blows."
Wow.
Yeah, they was getting ready, and I said, "You see, I told you when it gets to Friday going into Saturday, you're gonna have something on you." You know, because that's when at that hour people are twisted and they figure the bus driver is their chauffeur.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, it was one woman, she all twisted up. She keeps ringing for the stop. He stops, she doesn't get off.
Hmm.
We go on again. She rings for the stop. He stops. She doesn't get off. Go on, does he? He's like, "Listen, ma'am, what is it? What is it? Where do you want to go?" Okay. I'm just trying to get the Bedford. And
Well,
don't talk to me like that.
Okay.
I remember, to me, one of the most dangerous things on the subway was the emergency brake was available to the public.
Yeah,
You could just pull the emergency brake. It was right there.
yeah,
I never seen anybody pull it.
yeah,
But
yeah,
if you wanted,
yeah,
theoretically, if you wanted to pull it, it'll make the train stop.
yeah. And
Yeah.
that is so aggravating because you'll get here's the people that usually um pull the emergency brake. It's usually kids coming home from school messing around, or overnight some homeless person, okay, disoriented, or sometimes you might even get some twisted club goers, okay, that can't hold their alcohol.
Have
That
you have
does.
you experienced that?
I experienced that with a homeless person. Okay, I experienced that with a homeless person because I'm trying to get home, and all of a sudden the train stops, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" And the conductor's like, "Yeah, well, we're in emergency breaks now, and now
Yeah,
he
I would
has
think. And people got to do paperwork and all this kind of shit. That I've never experienced that ever in my
because
life.
because now he has to go and inspect all the cars to find out which one is the emergency brake is pulled." Okay,
Yeah, that's
and I can
insane.
hear him now. He's calling for the police, and of course, the homeless person jets off jets off the train scot free. Whatnot, and just goes upstairs and out the station. Now they gotta wait because I think it involves hydraulics.
Something. I'm thinking that if you pull that brake, you may
Hmm.
cause the train to jump the track.
Well, it I don't think it would jump the track. I just think that it's a mechanism that locks it. Like if you ever look at the length of the tracks in the station that you're in, you'll see after at so many intervals, at so many feet on the track bed, you'll see like this little handle that's painted yellow. Okay. And those handles are there to make sure that the train doesn't go until it's supposed to go. Okay. Now with the emergency brake, I think it has something to do with hydraulics, where once you pull it, now you have to wait for, I guess, air pressure to build.
I have no idea.
Yeah, well, this is
And I don't want to know. And I don't ever want to know.
We don't ever do that.
well, being in the subway, because I mean, when you look at it, I spent a hell of a lot of time in the subway, you know. But
There's
yeah,
a lot of poets.
Yeah, but
I think you have to wait for the air pressure of it to build back up
mm.
before they can
but
move
I'm
the train.
thinking the way that New Yorkers are, the way that we are,
Hmm.
it's like, why would you put something so important in arm's reach of us?
Of
You
the
don't have
public.
to even you don't have to break glass or nothing. Just like pull it.
Probably, I'm gonna tell you probably why. Because more than likely, being that MTA is over like 100, going on almost 200 years old, it was probably an incident that happened that they had to add that function to the train. Because usually with MTA, they learn by their mistakes. Okay, just look at the Melbourne Street accident where the train came into the tunnel too fast and hit the pillars, crushing and decapitating people.
Ooh.
You've had another train somewhere in Brooklyn that actually went off the tracks on the elevated. I don't know what the hell they was thinking with the Ninth Avenue subway with the Dead Man's Curve on 110th Street.
Yeah, the dead man's
Okay,
curve.
so and in fact, I think it's the anniversary of a token clerk being burnt to death.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Remember that all of a sudden there was a rash of token clerks getting set on fire.
yeah, yeah,
That was a thing. That was
and
actually a thing.
and I think that's why they installed this fire extinguishers
Hmm.
That's
where they
insane. And people put lighter fluid or gasoline inside a token, squirt inside a token book, and then throw a match in there, and then let nature take its course. Oh.
yeah that's unfortunately that's what happened. So
That's
w-
awful.
with
Yeah,
the
it is.
with the emergency brake, it's again like I tell you guys, if you take a good look at a subway station. Like I said, you see it's layered with year after decade or year after year, decade of new communications. You even might see an old loudspeaker that they don't even freaking use no more. You know what I'm saying? You'll see all kinds of stuff. It's like I said, it's like an archaeological dig. And
No,
probably with the emergency brake, something happened. They like, oh shit, well,
yeah,
we,
no, 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 no. When I was riding the subway during rush hour, or during rush hour was like early in the morning or late, kind of 6 o'clock in the afternoon. The trains used to be 11 cars long. Are they still 11 cars long during rush hour?
yes,
Okay.
except for the C. The C gets no respect
How
because
many? How many cars? I got three.
and that's what it seems like half the time. There's only thing I like, yo, you think you can spare these cars or was it? I don't know what it is, and it. Oh my god! Rockaway Avenue, the C stops way short of the end, the other end of the platform. Y'all like, what? What
So
is the
three
point?
cars, three cars
Y'all,
for the C during rush hour, and 11
yeah,
cars for everybody else.
yeah, listen, y'all might as well, like I said, y'all might as well send me a trolley, a horse-drawn trolley, spewing horse duty, and
And a wicker seat, and a wicker
a
seat.
wicked seat. Yeah, you
Now
know,
the like we said before, the safest car, at least in my mind, from my experience, is the fourth car, which is usually where the conductor
right,
stays. That's if you wanna feel good about yourself. If you're feeling big and bad, go to the last car. If you want to see the stations, you could go into the front, and there's a glass front, and
right.
you can see the
Mhm.
stations as you come in, or if you go above ground, you can just see the city as the train moves through the city. You can take a look out.
Okay, okay. Number one. Now, if you go into the car with the conductor, you feel safe. But there was a time when even you sitting in the conductor's car, that ain't mean jack for
Well,
shit.
that MF ain't coming out, so
Okay, yeah, yeah. The conductor, he ain't coming out. He wait till you stop screaming. Then he goes out. With the end now, it's more like if you go in the last car in the train, you better have some like maybe air freshener or
right,
something.
right. That's what you
Yeah,
got
because
because
that's when.
Penelope
Yep.
and I, because we took the F train to
Hmm.
Coney Island, and the last car would be we would the closest to the stairs where we would get off. So we always took the last car, but
Mhm.
that was a different time.
Yep.
Yeah, because now the last car is usually when the train turns into the hotel. People are sleeping. You know, some dude has a big bag of cans. He's getting ready to cash in. And the front of the car, it depends on what line you're on because now with these trains, the the engineer, the motorman has the whole front.
Oh, you can't
Uh,
look out the window anymore.
yes, some trains you can't look out the window because sometimes the motorman will have the whole front, and in a good time, somebody else from transit is sitting up there hanging out. But what you guys need to do is go to the Urban Prospector site on Facebook
Yes. Yes.
and keep scrolling down. A couple of months back, I put front window views of a couple of trains.
They're
Mhm.
great.
Yeah, where you can, you watch it from where the train starts. Like say with the 6 train, the train starts at Pound Bay Park, and you can see, the different neighborhoods and all that stuff there where it makes the turn. Then where it goes in the tunnel, and it lets you know the station, and it goes all the way to Brooklyn Bridge. I think I did the same thing for the G and the C train too.
Okay, two things that happen on film all the time. Number one, can you get on a car, and then if you want to get away from somebody, you're chasing somebody, you can go from car to car?
Did that all the time. I should do that all the time. I wasn't chasing anybody or being chased,
Yeah,
but
right, sure, yeah. Come on now. What did you
but
do?
going in between cars, or actually, if it was the summertime and it was really hot, you just stay in between the cars because it's breezy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When I lived in Brooklyn, I used to do that sometimes, going across the what is it, Williamsburg Bridge. You know, get on the J or the M and take in that breeze. Now if somebody's chasing you, like I said, if it's the C, no, if it's like the A or the Q or something like that, you're gonna pretty much get beat up because
They're gonna catch your ass.
they gotta catch you. They
Mhm.
gotta catch you, Or and then you have Then you have like this 5 or 6 where you could open the door and go into the next car. You know, maybe you're sitting in one car and I don't know, like the fake Death Wish movies, you know, a multicolored gang comes in the car and they like,
Multicolored.
hey
Mm-hmm.
man, let me see that watch you got on, my
No, 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 no.
brother.
That's not what he said. That's not what he said. He said, "Hey, man, you got the time? Oh, it's 9:56. What else you got?"
Yeah, yeah. Now, if you get on the G train that has the new gangway trains, yeah, somebody chasing you from the end to the front. Then when y'all get to the front, you're like, okay, your turn, and you take y'all can run back and forth all day. What's
That's it,
that?
and honestly, that's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. And the thing is that you know, I I guess it's dangerous to do that, but when I was doing it, I didn't feel any danger. But
Mm-hmm.
apparently, going around curves and stuff like that, it
Well,
can
well,
be dangerous.
well. See, that's why that's from what I understand. They took these gangway trains off of the A and C line because they were having problems with how they were maneuvering on the track. So they put them on the G, and I guess it's been copacetic on the G line, you know. And the thing about it, if you get on those gangway trains, to me as a New Yorker, it's a beautiful sight because you see all these different people, you know, going about their day all the way like from the front of the train to the back. You
Yeah.
know,
And
I said,
what about the elevated trains when you get like you on the fifth car on the stop
hmm
and you looking right at inside somebody's apartment or house and they're sitting
Mm-hmm.
down for
oh
dinner
yeah,
or they're
yeah.
watching
Well,
a
that
baseball game or
and see that's another thing. That's another thing about the elevator. I don't care how many times it happens, but every time that 4 train comes out the tunnel on 161st, and you see Yankee Stadium coming up. Oh
Mm-hmm.
man, that's a sight that I don't care how many times I see it. I love it. I
Mm-hmm.
that
love it.
that
Just
and the G train passing Smith and Ninth and the Statue of Liberty. When you
yeah,
see that
Mm-hmm.
Colossus, the new
yeah,
Yeah.
Colossus is so
yeah.
fantastic.
It's a beautiful thing. I listen. Even when going to see the Mets, when it gets close to that last stop, okay, City Field, you get that anticipation, going on. You know what I'm saying? Or like when you're transversing through like Penn Station, going to catch a train, especially on like a game night, and you see people, whether it's the Knicks or Rangers, they got on their gear and all that. It's just a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And stopping off at 34th Street and Herald Square
Hmm.
is a beautiful thing. I
Yeah.
think Cranston had a second question. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
And the second question is, okay, so you said, okay, we got the suspect that just went on the subway. This is okay. We're going to alert the MTA, and we're going to stop the train at 117th Street, and they're going to apprehend if they're gone, and they're going to take him off then. So, is there an MTA, and are they that reliable, and can you really do that?
You talk about MTA transit police.
Yeah.
Okay, it's funny because you have two entities. You have New York City Police Department's Transit Bureau, and then New York State has MTA police. Okay, the MTA police, they wear like they're very plain. They ride around in like a white car and whatnot, and their uniforms look similar to NYPD, but they have a different patch, and they answer to basically they answer to Albany because Albany runs MTA. Um, what they usually do, and see, this is where fare evasion comes in, because say you turn a person jumps the turnstile, right, and the police
Mm-hmm.
come out and catch them, and they run their name through the computer. 9 times out of 10, that person has a bunch of warrants.
Hmm.
Okay, they got a bunch of warrants on them. That's why they was trying to really crack down on fare evasion, because that's how they was catching a lot of people that was doing shit. Um, what they do is, say you run from police, you run down, and you run onto the train. Now you're on the train, you figure you got in the way. They close the doors, but the train ain't moving. You're like, oh shit, wait a minute. What the fuck is going on? And shit. More than likely, they've called the head, okay, and said, yeah, that person is moving. They heading down to the train station. If the train is there, stop the train. And definitely these days, because 99.9% of the police carry cell phones. Okay, which they have like department issued telephones. So they just call ahead and they tell the conductor, hold the train, or they'll pull out their flashlight and they do like a code where the conductor sticks their head out and they'll flick their flashlight a couple of times, maybe even the light from their phone, and that's telling the conductor to wait. And then they'll, ask them to go tell him, he or she to open up the car, and you're sitting there waiting with all that shit you done stole from Dollar Tree.
That's right. Basically, you're not getting nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they take you off, and then they flash the light to the conductor saying, okay, you could go ahead. And the next thing you know, you're in, where's Broadway Junction? I think that's Transit District 33.
I don't know what district. I know what Broadway Junction is. I know there's a lot of cops there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's just like, listen, ain't no shame in my game. When I got caught hopping the train years ago, they took me to the Transit District 12 over there to Bronx Zoo.
I can't believe it's unbelievable that you will hop the transit. It's unbelievable, number one. And number two, it's unbelievable that your ass got caught. That's really unbelievable.
No, well, well, first of all, yes, I
never knew anyone that got caught. I think one of our friends he almost got caught, and he wiggled away free when the train door was closed and the cop.
No, I tell you what happened with that is that, in fact, this was the first, when the Yankees, this had to be 98, when the Yankees had first got back to the World Series, right?
Yeah.
So I'm with my friend Ernie, God bless him. I'm on Glebe Avenue. We watching the game, we drinking beers and whatnot. So then when it's time to go, for me to go, the game was still going on. I said, listen, I gotta get out of here. So he walked me to the train station, and I'm going to pay. He's like, nah, man, don't worry about it. Ain't no cops over here. They don't be on Glebe Avenue and whatnot. So I'm like, oh, I stand corrected, actually, Castle Hill Avenue. I said, are you sure? He said, yeah, don't worry about it, So I go through the turnstile, and I go up the stairs, I hear, psst, hey, come here.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, shit.
They all and all the cops sound like they come from Staten Island too. They all sound the same.
Yeah.
They got mustaches that come from Staten Island.
Well, these days you have a cornucopia of different types of police officers. I mean, you will see sometimes a police officer with the what's a Sikh turban,
Hmm.
you know. Um,
Never
some
seen
will,
that before.
yeah, you some look some when they open their mouth, you swear they just came from Russia.
Hmm.
But
You know who they have to thank for that?
Who?
The civil rights movement.
oh
Well,
yeah, yeah. Um, so anyway, he like come on. So I thought he was just gonna give me a ticket. Well, gosh darn it, this motherfucker handcuffed me and fit me in the old. I guess it was a waiting area room on the station where they used to have it heated for customers. Next thing I know, he's him and his partner. Fishing wasn't good that night because I was the only fish they caught. They put me in the car and took me over to the 12th Transit District. And the funny thing about it, you would never thought that I was arrested because we got to talk about the Yankees and reminisce.
But you
Talk
got caught
about
for a
Yeah.
fair violation. Okay.
yeah, and mind you, they didn't take me
Your ass
in.
got caught.
They they didn't take me into the station. They actually took me and put me in a little processing not little it was like a Winnebago or some shit, and they processed me there. You know, they handcuffed me to the chair. There was a bunch of other people there. I was this African guy. He was a security guard. He said, "But I am innocent. I am innocent." And one of the cops said, "Listen, just calm down. Just calm down. Stop it. Nah, it's not that critical, dude. You're just gonna get a ticket. Yeah,
Yeah, just write a ticket and keep it moving.
yeah. You know. So yeah, that's what they did, and they finally handcuffed me. You know, in fact, that's when I knew once and for all I could never spend time in jail because I got up to try and scratch myself, and the
hmm.
handcuffs pulled me right back down in my seat.
Wow.
Yeah, I get up to scratch, and the handcuffs like, "Where you going?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
not that critical.
you're like the only person I know that actually caught by a transit cop jumping turnstile. No, you didn't jump the turnstile. You took the middle age route of opening the gate.
No, I that was '98. I was still youthful.
So you jumped the turnstile.
Yeah, I jumped the turnstile.
So
Well, see,
Whoa.
you use your hands and lifted yourself over.
yeah, yeah. I
So
mean,
they
it's not like I
walking
was Ironside in a wheelchair,
Or
so
maybe
and
y'all,
I,
oh, so
maybe
you
you took
guys,
the other middle age but just like duck under and go under.
okay.
it's not like I asked. I'm in a wheelchair, and I asked the cop,
Can
"My
you help me over?
lumbago, can you open the gate for me?" He's like,
Or,
"Sure."
or
And
crawl on
then
the
so
ground. Crawl on the ground and crawl under it.
you know, nah. Listen, that in fact that wasn't the last time, but see back then, if you got caught if you got caught hopping a train, it was no big deal. You know,
Mm.
you just pay your fare, or some people didn't pay the fare, and especially if you had like the other time I got caught. In fact, I wasn't
You got
even
caught twice?
yeah, but
Damn.
the second time I wasn't trying to evade the fare. What it
You were
was
innocent.
yeah, and let me tell you why. Because at Gun Hill Road on the what is it, the five trains section of Gun Hill Road, because you have two versions of it. They had this thing where cops, if they wanted to make a quick quota, they would do this dirty dingus McGee thing where they know that in order for you to pay your fare, you had to go downstairs and
Hmm.
wait for the five train to come. When the door would open, it would be two conductors, one conductor for the train and another conductor with a toll box. And you put your token in there on the weekends.
Mm.
Okay, but cops, some cops being high on the grimy side, they would do this shit where when you would go through the gate, they would grab you and give you a ticket.
Why?
Entrapment.
Entrapment. And see, this is how they would make their quota. And you know what would happen with all of that? When you got to transit court, right? The judge would look. In fact, this is what the judge did to me. Because I went there, the legal aid said, listen, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. So I go before the judge, and the judge, he started to ask me how I plead with it. Before I could even open my mouth, he said, wait a minute. He said, is this Gun Hill Road on the 5 line? The cop said, yeah. He said, you know what? I'm getting tired of you guys. He said, y'all been doing this nonsense all year long. Stop. He said, I'm throwing this out, and any other case, any other thing that's coming from that Gun Hill train station, he says, I'm throwing it out because y'all know better. Y'all know better. Yeah. And this is what they do. Because see, at that time, a lot of transit cops had low self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because if you graduated police academy, and if they didn't say you were regular NYPD, if they say, okay, you're going to report to the transit bureau, or you're going to report to the
housing,
mm-hmm.
Possibly hard.
Yeah, like I'm looking at our clock now. We got like 10 minutes before we gotta be gone.
And James,
but yeah,
James, you're a judge, but turn him loose, Bruce. Right? Remember Bruce Wright, who was a judge.
Yeah.
They used to make fun. And matter of fact, they had a couple of episodes of Law and Order that they try to reconfigure. Judge Bruce Wright,
mm-hmm.
who I met several times, was a very honorable man and
judge. Yeah, I think his son is either a assemblyman or a congressman or something.
I don't know.
He looks just like him too.
And that's just like I'm glad, because the thing is the media and which includes Law and Order made so many nasty, snarky stories about Bruce Wright.
Yeah, the Post used to be after him all the time.
Why?
Because he was a judge just like the judge that James had.
Okay.
That basically said, you guys, I'm not processing these things like this anymore. You're wrong. I'm not doing it.
Oh, okay.
Don't bring me any more cases. And they called him Turn Him Loose, Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't want to do their job and think that the court should look the other way.
At that time, transit cops were very lazy. Very lazy. I had another ticket thrown out for a ride between the cars. Same thing. One cop tried to piggyback off the other, and they wrote duplicate tickets.
Man,
What
you got bad.
Yeah, I'm looking at our time, and we have to get going. This is 1 hour and 51 minutes, so we got to roll. So I thank you all for discussing your subway stories and other transit stories. Thank you very much.
Bring back the wicker chairs.
Okay, bring back your wicker chairs. Yes, all right. Thank you, individuals.
Bring back the trolley car with the horse.
No.
Beauty.
No. We'll keep that though. All right, thank you all so much. We'll be back again next week. If James is not getting more walls, taking down this unit, that'll be great. So see you again. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful remainder of your weekend. We'll see you
And
again.
I will still be in Dallas, everybody.
You'll still be
We
here.
say it like that for.
I'm happy. I'm
All right.
happy to be with you.
Yeah.
Only you.
All right. Good night.
Bye.